Gemini. I feel like you're very majestic right now, or you've been majestic, but during Gemini season, maybe it's further amplified. Or for those who resonate, if you're not a Gemini or don't have the Gemini placements anywhere in your chart, 12 houses, planetary placements, North Node, South Node, maybe this is just happening during Gemini season. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. I'm eccentric Rockstar Seed, and I have some very creative, it's progressive, creatively progressive is how it's coming up for me. Take what resonates, leave what does not. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. So how I got that is they wait until you feel like things are progressing effortlessly. Let the opportunities present themselves when the time is right. Don't force things. Have patience. What was that? Further amplifying is willingly sincere. So there's a lot of words that are matching, that are synonyms to willingly. Just your energy is very honest, earnest. As I say, I wrote words down. Strongest matches, in accord with, which is what I feel like this reading should be called. In accord with. Zealous, like-minded, go along with, energetic, voluntarily, readily, freely, cheerfully, willingly. Okay? And then to further talk about this is you have cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemist of life. I feel like you're going within, willingly and happily and patiently, because right now it's like, I don't care what it takes. If it's going to get me to that peaceful space, I'm going to do it. Because you also have empathic starseed, which is talking about energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. What I'm not going to, you're not manifesting what you don't want. We're more focused on what you do want. Okay? I think you got a little tired or something and you're ready to do things a little different. So when you see cracked open, it's about not letting the weight and the density of the world squash your tender spirit, which makes sense when you got is right next to empathic starseed. Instead, let it call even more of it home into your body. At the center front of your life, it's through the extreme pressures of life's trials that diamonds are cultivated. So you're a real one, Gemini. It's when things are at their darkest that we cultivate proper faith and our light is ignited. So it's building character for you. And then it's through the crumbling that we can allow our wounds to be alchemized. So let your pain, any type of sorrow and losses make you, not break you. It's building character. Let life alchemize your tragedies into gold. Be open to being cracked open, wide open. It's the difficult times that help us grow in leaps and bounds and in ways that we could only dream were possible. But first, they have to crack us open. Sometimes it hurts like hell. If you ever watch any of my previous readings, it's like it hurts to do that shadow work, but you have to do it. I think I said that in Virgo, one of Virgo's readings I did like maybe a year ago, because that's what's popping in my head. I said it at the end of the Virgo reading. What is the name of that reading? It's the one right after, baby, they may have my attention, but you are my mental stimulation. It's the one after that, because if that video cut off, it's like two or three parts to it. And I think the one where it has a picture of Janet Jackson and Tupac, which is a Gemini. So you could be dealing with a Taurus or have Taurus placements. Or Gemini, if it's a Gemini man, you could be dealing with a Taurus woman. So you're willingly trying to go the distance. And I wrote strongest matches for each other. I'm adding for each other, but I wrote strongest matches on my paper. But it's about being wide open. Whether you let it happen or not is going to happen. So surrender to the process is how the light gets in. So when your heart cracks open, a space is created for your soul to a space is created for your soul to more fully enter. And when your soul cracks open, a space is created for the grace of the Holy Spirit to enter. So you're doing soul stuff, Gemini. Let your trials, your sorrows, your pains, and your losses transform you into more and more of yourself. It's about staying open to the possibilities that your tragedies, your losses, your sorrows, and your hurt happen for you, not to you. Bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open because the world needs you open. You meant to be in the spotlight, Gemini, if you're not in the spotlight already. So you have to surrender to the alchemy of life, if you're willing. Beautifully put. Beautifully put. Now, for an empathic star seed, such as yourself, Gemini, you're here to shift the world through their physical presence alone. This is Kendrick Lamar season 2. That's a side note. Because Kendrick, I hear Beyonce featuring Kendrick Lamar, Freedom. They don't need to do anything beyond being here, thanks to the energetic change their physical presence causes. So, due to their highly sensitive nature, empathic starseeds can struggle with being on Earth and in the physical body. Many are prone to addiction and depressed are or tend to mistake other people's feelings and moods for their own. Natural introverts. They tend to prefer spending time alone or in smaller groups. Crowds can be overwhelming for them. So, when you see this card in your reading, consider lightening the load energetically. Don't put yourself under such pressure to go out into the world. You have to be gentle with yourself. You have to allow extra time and care to recover energetically. If you're feeling pressure to keep up a certain pace, instead put on the brakes and treat yourself like a precious baby, like a baby. But do whatever you can to take the pressure of the world off your plate. Switch off to switch back on. Again, it's talking about alchemizing things that are not yours. In today's world, it's normal to feel that we should be doing more, but perhaps being present in our life is enough, like being in the moment, which is a classic Gemini trait. This could be a phase that you're going through, or simply how you're being called to live your life. If your work involves giving to others, right now you're being called to keep something for yourself. You don't need to transmute it all. It's okay to look after your own growth and healing. Before feeling, you should offer it to the world. Indeed, it's necessary if you want to do so sustainably. I feel like there's an energy around you that has become greedy off of the success of you, Gemini. Or at least they're coming off that way to you and it's draining your energy or making you feel some type of way. Because now I'm thinking about Casino. Ginger and Sam Rothstein. Sam Rothstein was a Gemini. Okay? And I'm going back to that Virgo reading again because it has a picture of Janet Jackson and Tupac on it. And that's a Taurus and a Gemini. Ginger was a Taurus, Sam Rothstein was a Gemini. So it's an emphasis on a earth sign potentially coming off as a gold digger if they're not an actual gold digger. They may not be a gold digger. You could just be coming off that way, or just you just overly it's something feels overly materialized, or at least you're internalizing it that way, Gemini, because maybe it's just you being empathic. You're so empathic. You're a giver, and it's not like you're being taken advantage of. You just need to reset. It's giving that. All right. What else can we learn? Shuffle for Gemini. I feel like somebody's called to do a public appearance and speech. Now this flipped over. Deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. So there's a lot of emphasis on you needing to take a break. What's on the bottom? Play. Don't be so serious. Here, I'll show you. This reminds me of Beyonce again in her video "Love to Love You" from her first solo album. Remember, she was in a cup of champagne like that. So play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. I don't know if the Taurus placement has Virgo in their chart, or you have Virgo in your chart, where I feel like you're connecting with someone who has Virgo in their chart. But you can still be you can still have a bond with a Taurus or someone who has a Taurus placement. Damn. Shuffle. Okay. Make a meal. Either someone's cooking for you, or this is your creative way of decompressing or detoxing. When you feel stressed, you could like to cook. And on the bottom is like, how are you, how can you mother yourself? So you can have a favorite meal or favorite food that is a go-to meal that you like, or someone is nurturing you. It's either the Virgo or the Taurus placement. If that's not the same person, one of them is making a meal for you, but it's platonic. But y'all have a bond. So now I'm seeing Jada Pinkett and Tupac, which would be a Virgo Gemini dynamic. So you have a friendship, a bond with somebody. I don't know if the Taurus placement is picking it up, and they're trying to, Taurus, they're real strong. They don't cry about anything. But if they're feeling some type of way, they could be spending excessive money to get your attention. Because now I'm seeing Sopranos, where Carmela, maybe it was the second season, the first or second season, where it's an episode where he started going to therapy, and he starts complaining to his therapist. It's like, she's spending money like a drunken sailor. And the therapist is like giving him a perspective, like, well, maybe she's trying to get your attention. She's trying to she wants your attention about something. He pulls, he drives up to his house, and she has furniture being delivered to the house. And he was like, what happened to the old furniture? She said, I got bored with it or something like that. I'm remodeling the house. And he's like, you know what? Why don't we just move into the furniture store and save them the delivery charge? Something like that. And she was like, well, I'll send it back. He said, I didn't say that. You spending money like it's costing me too much money. You spending a lot of money. And she was like, well, I said I'll send it back. And he was like, I didn't say that. I'm just saying, or he's just pointing it out, like, you're doing a lot right now. He never saw it like she was trying to get his attention. So that could be where the gold digger vibes come from. Or you could feel like somebody is spending too much money, or just blowing through too much money because it's there. It's like they have it, they have access. So maybe the Taurus is the spouse, and the Virgo, which is a naturally healing empathic energy too, the Virgo could be a therapist for you, or just that platonic friend that you can vent to. Yeah, man. But that also came around a time where he was going to the therapist, and he would reiterate what the therapist was giving him because he was on Prozac and going to therapy. And Carmela was jealous because of her ability to help him. Like, it was hitting her self esteem in a way. So that could be significant for a kid. If you have a counterpart, Gemini, I feel like I'm speaking to a Gemini man more than a woman. Dance with life. I mean, it doesn't. It could be a woman, but I just feel like I'm channeling a man. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Yes, it's getting on your nerves. Something is bothering you a lot, a lot, a lot. You could be called to connect with your ancestors, but that's 14 on there, so that's Sagittarius energy, which is healing energy, or just it's a way to ground yourself. I feel like you in a certain where you're at in life, you could be like the first millionaire in your family, something like that. Speaking of which, it's just what I get, what is like your perception of, you notice us as a collective. This speaks to people who are more like Indian or African. Us as a collective, what we deem as successful is really is just correlating with having a poor self-esteem, because the more material gain, the better we feel about ourselves, yet we still feel bad about ourselves. So what is all this materialistic stuff? It's not happiness at the end of the day. Yeah, you want to be successful. It's like money isn't everything, but it helps you out in a lot of ways. It keeps you out of trouble in a lot of ways. And I feel like you're frustrated, Gemini. I feel like you want to get this message across, but you don't have your footing because you need to be grounded. It's like you feel like energetically you're being taken advantage of for whatever reason. Sisterhood of Rose. So you got beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. I feel like this is that Virgo energy that I'm picking up on. What's that about? Please. Double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. I feel like you and the Virgo are humanitarians. So y'all are the strongest match of what you got going on. But the Taurus could be the mother of your children or somebody like that. Or you're just seeing two sides of somebody. But you got to remember, you're being advised to know that it's happening for you, not to you. The unfolding roles, the cracked opens. Again, with being cracked open, you're going through some kind of spiritual like transformation. It's not spiritual warfare per se. It's spiritual transformation. It's happening for you, not to you. It's like you're outgrowing places and spaces, and I hope it's not your loved ones. At the same time, it just feels like you're disconnecting. But you know what? And when you listen to marital couples who've been married for decades, they go through periods where the man just needs space. Sometimes the woman just needs space, but they still friends at the core of it. So it could be the Virgo giving the right kind of advice. She's not telling you to leave. She's giving you the right kind of advice on how to properly bond with your partner while you go through these changes. I feel like the Taurus is jealous of the Virgo's ability to help Gemini. Okay, what else? What does Gemini need to know? I feel like it's a countdown. That's one thing about Kendrick Lamar's verse on Beyonce's song was he was counting down. The orator, communication, and confidence. It is something alchemizing, or you seeing things from a higher perspective. Something about change being progress. And then on the bottom of that, you got delivering news, collaboration. And then you see the hand on there again. You see the hand? Now you see the hand on here. Willingly sincere. You're willingly, sincerely ready to speak your voice about something. But you're waiting until you feel like things are progressing effortlessly. So you let the opportunities present themselves when the time is right. Don't force things, have patience. So that's significant. Delivering news, collaboration. So you may be working with this Gemini by way of communication. It's something y'all. Well, Gemini and Virgo are both ruled by Mercury, first of all. Taurus ruled by Venus. So they may understand each other. And then you got, double mission. channeling and uplifting humanity and the sisterhood of Rose. So you got to bond with somebody. They could be sent to you by your ancestors. This is snowflake crystal. I forgot what snowflake crystal stands for. I gotta look it up. But that can be significant because they flipped over. And then ambition, diligence, setback. The aspirant. I'm gonna lay some more cards out before I start talking again. Okay. The wise one, tradition, order. I feel like this Virgo is more your speed, and I feel like the Taurus is a party animal. The Virgo is more like an old soul, like very wise. Tradition and order, like structure. They're giving you something you don't feel like you have in the core of your family, like the structure and the foundation. I just got something, okay, for the Virgo and the for the Virgo and the Gemini, and this if it's two men, if there are two guys, they're companions, both of them fraternized or slept with the Taurus. And that's what the Taurus is afraid of. The Taurus is upset because they're becoming good friends. But they both have a lot in common. They both spiritually align with the double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So both of them could be star seeds. You know, they could have felt like they met somebody from their soul tribe, something like that. But in other news, this Virgo, the first premonition I got was the Virgo and the Taurus are women and the Gemini is the man. We have the dancer, self-expression and strength. So that could be speaking of someone's creativity if they're not an actual dancer. Amongst the three people that I'm describing, one of them could be a dancer, self-expression. If not, it's just talking about creativity. Okay. Or somebody's perseverance about life. The herald, you have small regrets, longing. But this can also talk about fertility too. And then you have the third eye on there. So, hold on. All of this is delivering good news. So you could be under a new contract, Gemini, and you're working with the Virgo by way of mass communication. Let's talk about it. Let me see. You have a message to deliver or something that you've been meaning to say for a while, but it may not be the message that someone is ready to receive. Be careful about how you deliver it and choose your timing carefully. The outcome may depend entirely on you, Gemini. But if that's in reverse, if you've been waiting for the right time to make an announcement or tell someone something important, it may come to light without your help. Before you sit on it long enough or any longer, think about whether it will have the same effect if this news comes from somewhere or someone else. If you're happy to live with that, you may speak up sooner than you planned. So, in the scenario where the two Earth placements are females, the Gemini might have a closer bond with the Virgo, and they may need a break from the Taurus. And it's like, I want you to hear it from me before you hear it from someone else because I respect you enough to tell you myself. Or, I mean, it could be that type of dramatic of a situation where you don't want it to come out accidentally, like in an argument or something ridiculous like that. I feel like somebody's going to end up with egg on their face. I'm not sure why I feel like that just yet. You talk about communicating. Hold on. I rarely get the orator, but it's obviously talking about Communication. How come I can't find what I'm looking for? You hear that train? It's sounding the alarm about something. Okay. Doubting yourself is only holding you back. It's okay if you take a little longer to think about how to voice your needs and desires. Writing a script of how to ask for these things might even benefit you here. Be confident in taking up a space and letting your voice be heard. So you're in heavy contemplation as to how you want to articulate something. And if it's in reverse, someone, perhaps even you, is saying things that aren't necessarily true. Their words are what they think others want to hear. So there's heavy patronism, which I don't think that's you, Gemini, because you represent authenticity. So through there can be a kindness and white lies. You don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, or you feel like you're being patronized. So you'll quickly become tangled in a net of your own making. Honesty is the best policy, and if you choose your words well, a hard truth doesn't have to be difficult to hear. That's the Taurus placement, because I feel like it's an ego. There's an ego here, and that's making it hard for you to communicate with that person, unfortunately. You want to say something, but the ego is at an all time. It's like skyrocketing, okay? Which could be about the finer things in life. But see, when you're talking about ambition, diligence, and setbacks, it's about don't let yourself fall into the same trap. Take a moment to reassess where you are right now so that you don't stumble when something goes wrong. Half the battle is won when you accept that you will face problems along the way, but whatever hurdles you encounter, know that they will be overcome. I feel like that's the advice given to you, as long as you have healthy communication, or I feel like your communication styles are very different, or your love languages are very different, where yours could be vocal, like you're a great communicator, obviously, Gemini. And I feel like someone conceals a lot of what they're feeling, or just stubborn, more stubborn, where you're more flexible. You realizing y'all can be a little too different to keep going, and something has to be compromised, or you want something to compromise. When you feel like this Taurus is a hustler, or it's all about what they're getting, and they're not trying to bend on that, or they don't want to hear anything you have to say if it sounds like you're going to take something away from their comfort or their sense of security. But then what I also get is that the advice you're receiving is that, are you willing to go the distance with someone, or with the Taurus? Because you have to face the fact that nothing it's not going to be perfect all the time. Or maybe Taurus needs to hear that, and they don't like that it's coming from Virgo instead of the Gemini. It's something about somebody is jealous about the inability that they don't have it to help. They don't know how to help you, and they're getting jealous because there is somebody who does know how to help you. Now, the wise one, tradition. Tradition and order has to be structure and discipline to maintain a household. I hear household. Somebody could be newlyweds and they're learning each other real quick. Like, oh my God, it's giving tight around the collar. Organization and rhythm rule the day. It's time to suppress that creative streak and accept pre-established convention. Take the time to study those who have gone before you. There is plenty to be learned from previous attempts. The greatest knowledge is derived from the experience of those who have done it before. Hmm. The creative streak would be you, Gemini. The organization is Taurus and Virgo. Somebody is inflexible, like real fixed in what and how they want things to be. Like they're not bending on it. on anything you have. They don't want to hear what you have to say. I feel like some of you travel for work, and the Taurus is not trying to hear that because they don't have enough time with you or something like that. But it's time to stop worrying about what the world thinks of you. Something about authenticity again, which I don't think that's you, Gemini. And embrace the parts of yourself that you've been trying to make more palatable to others. Self acceptance comes with maturity and a recognition of your own capability. You don't feel like your partner, if it's the Taurus, you don't feel like they're as comfortable around you or comfortable to be themselves, their full authentic self around you. And I think it's off putting. You don't know what to do about it. You're seeking advice about it. And a revelation that is stronger for having come through a period of doubt. It's time to free yourself from your past and embrace yourself for you. You have a strength and compassion within you that you haven't realized yet. So someone's doubting themselves or doubting the connection or doubting how this is going to go the distance because somebody's in the spotlight or very popular or just open to networking because that is their business. Like an entrepreneur has to be open for that kind of thing to grow, right? That's how we got this life, right? You can't expect me to shut it off because you're here, something like that. But then you got small regrets and longing. So it's easy to get caught up in the what ifs. But if you go forward holding on to all of those little regrets, you're going to miss out on the pleasure of the moment. You see how that light just jumped? That's confirmation. Be your own herald of change and bring something new and more positive into your life. Don't let the force of your own feelings separate you from finding joy in the path you're on now. Somebody doesn't know how to take all of what comes with you, Gemini. And but then if I'm reading that in reverse too. Spite is a powerful motivator. In a moment when your motivation may be flagging, think of those who doubted you and use the satisfaction in proving them wrong to get to where you need to go. Once you're there, don't forget to release those feelings again. Yeah. So clearly, let's put all that together. Someone has doubts and someone is wanting to say something. I doubt this will go the distance. That kind of it kind of caters to the Taurus going with the two people and they becoming friends. I doubt this will go the distance if they found out. But I split the deck. Have faith in your dreams. A new start is coming. I feel like the Gemini wants to go with the Virgo. It feels like that to me. Okay, if it's not the case where the two Earth placements have that's one person, the Virgo and the Gemini could very easily be one person towards the Taurus too. Could be. I feel like the Gemini thinks the Virgo is a stronger match because they're more wise. I feel like they think the Taurus is insecure and immature. Look at the bigger picture. Somebody's moon sign could be in Sagittarius. It doesn't have to be. Don't let pride get in your way. I feel like the Taurus is immature and the Gemini is off-putting. It's put off by it. And it's pushing them into the arms of somebody else. I feel like we tried. This person is like open-minded and open to different things. Maybe before you were not flexible like that. You had doubts. And now I feel like the roles reverse. This could be karmic soulmates. I mean, karmic experiences leading up to an ultimate connection. Or, you know what? I didn't want to say it earlier, but with the Virgo and the Gemini, they could be a vibrational match at a soul level, like each other's flames, where it's causing turbulence between the Gemini and the Taurus. but conclusions are within reach. Look at that moon. Like something needs to be eclipsed. Meditate and contemplate. Somebody's moon could be Pisces, or somebody's in their feelings and somebody's not in their feelings no more. This is opposing energies. Like Sagittarians emotionally catch flights, not feelings. They're not heavy into emotions. Like they look at the bigger picture. They're more open-minded. So that could be you, Gemini. That could be the energy you're embodying. You don't have to have Sagittarius in their chart. But you can communicate a lot better than the person in this Piscean energy. They kind of keep stuff within. It could be coming off a little bit like sneaky. Or again, like the example I told you, it's like they're being passive aggressive in how they want your attention instead of just communicating. You feel plotted on. A time to give rather than a time to take. They go to Virgo energy. What's on the bottom? Emotions are running high. Supermoon. I feel like somebody just want to throw the towel in. You just want to turn the day in, and I just want to turn the day around. Somebody don't want to argue, or they don't feel like this Taurus could be a little pessimistic, but I really feel like it's because they're immature. They don't have a lot of hope. Like they kind of like shoot shit down before it even gets started. Like this ain't for me, man. Like I don't need nothing tight around the collar like that. Come on, man. Sometimes these cards are annoying to shuffle. It's okay. Why are the emotions running high for Virgo? Or Gemini's emotions is running really high for Virgo intuitively because they go deeper in conversion. Surrender to the divine. And believe in the impossible. Something doesn't come around every day. A rare moon, a blue moon, once in a blue moon. This kind of thing happens, and you want to make sure you're doing the right thing. It's something about practicing integrity. Well, okay. I'm going to use the tarot cards for the rest of it. I feel like you Gemini, you feel like you're tripping your partner up in a lot of like bogus stuff, like little stuff that's not necessary to not address. Like this is absolutely necessary. Like you just acting out and you're just really not gonna talk about it. Whoa. Yeah, somebody's calling a truce with the Four of Swords. Somebody's holding back their feelings. They're calling a truce. Could be you, Gemini, in the Four of Swords. It's like I'm leaving the feeling of being rejected or the poor communication that shuts the conversation. I'm tired of you. You always shutting the conversation down like you control everything. What's on the bottom? The Magician, which could be Virgo, Gemini. Okay. So things are surrounding this Magician energy. So what it's giving me is the Earth placement, the Taurus placement, and I'm doing that to keep the message straight. Okay, it really could be a Taurus in this experience, because that's what I've been saying the whole reading. The Taurus feel like there's some hocus pocus or manipulation, some heavy I don't want to say they don't have to be as dramatic as hocus pocus, but they feel like there's heavy mental confusion, like you're letting somebody manipulate you to go a different direction or go about things in a different way. They're internalizing it that way. Eight of Swords. So the Taurus one, the one who's in the foundation with the Gemini. They feel trapped or feel attacked or feel picked on. Why do they feel picked? Look. Oh shit. Sorry. That's confirmation. On the bottom is the Nine of Wands. The good fight. It's like I've been fighting along, like they feel exhausted. They do. Everybody is bucking up against me. You feel alienated and isolated. Whoever's in the space of the Taurus. That's a bad energy, okay? That is like you feel like you're going stir crazy. With the Eight of Swords, that's like you don't know who's coming at you. Who's like throwing stones and hiding their hands, and then you got the Nine of Wands. Like you just know you feel attacked. A time for healing. The Temperance. The Temperance is here. So that's a yin yang balance. Why is the Temperance here? Because that's more Sagittarius energy. Maybe somebody has that in their chart. A different perspective. Okay, these cards flipped over. The Justice, the Empress, the Seven of Cups. So the Justice, you could be married to this Taurus. Because the Empress is Taurus. And the Justice is like legality. Something that's also that it's an illusion. Like the Seven of Cups is like options. You're making Taurus feel like they're second best. They're just insecure. Something about I just feel like they're speaking and acting from an insecure space. They feel like they're second best. They feel like you're gaslighting them with the Seven of Cups. Like it's no empathy and compassion for me. Woe is me. It is a time for healing because you do have the Temperance. You have three major arcanas that come out back to back to back. And this Four of Swords could be depressing energy. But that Eight of Swords is Gemini too. Worried and stressed. Somebody feels like someone could have went to a witch doctor and the illusion is wearing off. So what I feel like is the Virgo and the Gemini have a chemistry that's unmatched. And those emotions are running high now because it's making Taurus show up as it's a lesson. It's definitely a lesson that needs to be learned here for everybody. Look, as I'm reading the cards on the bottom, the Lovers, the Gemini, the Wayfarer. And there's a Ten of Swords. Yeah, the Ten of Swords is here. Betrayal, Eight of Cups, walking away to a Ten of Cups. Because of the Seven of Swords. Okay. Somebody lied or that somebody felt disrespected, highly disrespected. Like the wool could have been pulled over their eyes with the Two of Swords and the Star. So there's Aquarius energy. The Seven of Swords, Aquarius energy, strategy and wit. The Five of Swords. Somebody, what it say? Ambition, diligence, and setbacks. That Five of Swords is defeat. And they go those Eight Wands that the Nine of Wands feel like was coming at them. So what I feel like is something backfired on someone. Whatever you send out, if you're doing something to manipulate someone into being around you or committing to you, is you're the one deserving of dealing with the backlash of that. You're the one that should be under the influence of that negative connotation because you're the one that put it out there. So what you put out is what you get back. With all due common sense and with all due respect, anybody who does that kind of stuff to keep their person faithful with the strategy and the wit, the Seven of Swords, like somebody did something extra to manipulate someone to come to them and it's not working anymore. It took for this Gemini to start to, you met this Virgo on the whim. It just feels like that. And this Virgo, I feel like is the healer or could be a therapist of some sort. And they're giving Gemini a fresh perspective on how to deal with things. And that Gemini is feeling like we kind of racist, like you're kind of racist against me or prejudiced against me. It's like they're playing back with the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Swords is under here. The Gemini, you're thinking about north, node, south. This is north node, south node stuff. And this is a spiritual awakening. That Virgo could have sparked a spiritual awakening for you, Gemini. And you're willingly, happily, willingly, like you're willingly, sincerely, are waiting for things to progress effortlessly. You know, letting the opportunities present themselves when the time is right. Don't force things, have patience. You met somebody or just see things from a different perspective and you want to do things different now. You don't feel so defeated no more. You're retreating from heartbreaks. Like I feel like your heart got broken real bad with somebody you were serious about or you've been with for years and they were more ambitious than they were in love with you. It was about if I can't have you, nobody can have you. Could have been a little bit of that energy. It's also giving popularity, being associated with you by popularity, but there's like that was the final nail in the coffin. It's like the worst of it is over now. The Ten of Swords is like I'm not, I can't. With the nine of wands, like you could feel like I'm walking away from this. With the Eight of Cups, walking away. I'm pouring them cups out. I'm tired of being disappointed. Like I'm tired of feeling like there's no real progress. There's a miser, inflexible energy. Whether you were married to this other person or not, it feel like if you got married to him, you want a divorce. You are walking away. And that Seven of Swords. It's like whatever they did or didn't do. I just feel like this person is a hustler. And I say that in a way where they will do what it takes to get results, even if that means, I'll give you an example. This could be a woman who is free spirited in their own essence or just not really connected with their emotions. So if they're with someone, think about dead presidents. How Juanita, she wasn't shit, but just think about it for a second. Where when Anthony was fighting a war, she started dealing with that pimp. She was technically pregnant by that pimp with that second baby. You dig? And she kept seeing him because Anthony was having a hard time when he got out the war. He went back with Juanita, and it wasn't all it's cracked up to be. Juanita was like, "You don't have no job. It's so hard for you to find a job. I'm gonna still use this pimp by any means necessary." So she still was sleeping with him for money. So this person, Gemini, you could have been you could feel like that's the ultimate betrayal that you could have found out this person could have slept with someone else to get ahead. Not because they don't give a fuck about you, but in hindsight, they don't give enough of a fuck about themselves if they're doing that on your time. You know, it's less about you and more about that person needing to grow up. You're walking away. Like you put a lot of emotion into it and you want to walk away and you're going to your Ten of Cups. You could be doing it in silence. You could be matching that person's wits and moving in silence. And now that person's left in two minds. Okay? And that could be where that pessimistic, stiff energy is from because I'm reading this in reverse. Like they're not very optimistic. Okay? They weren't very optimistic or they wouldn't experience setbacks being too ambitious. And now they feel attacked because whatever they dished out is coming back to them tenfold. And that's the truth with the Ace of Swords right here. That's the truth. Okay, you're going for a new start. That person went off and started something else, thinking the grass was greener. They tried to come back, and it wasn't the same. You realize your chemistry is not with them. Your happiness is not with them. You're just family oriented with them. So your chemistry is with the Virgo. Six of Wands. There's a victory, or someone's in the public eye. You're in the public eye, Gemini. I feel like it's you who's in the public eye. But there go that Three of Swords again. That Three of Swords and that Ten Pentacles. So that Ten of Pentacles, your person who you're family oriented with could have got 10 Pentacles between the two of y'all. Like the family that prays. She was getting all them bonuses because she was sitting on the boss's lap. And it's not with he's like, I'm wondering how we affording all this shit. And she was like, I get bonuses. But what she really was having an affair. And he was giving her money. He had her driving a Benz, a company car, that a Benz. Like she was doing the most to get these 10 pentacles for her family, but she wasn't feeling him like that. She was speaking and acting from a hurt space. She wouldn't give him no credit. So you could be experiencing that, Gemini, where somebody is like more ambitious, more about material gain than they are about you. And that's a rejection. That's what you're moving past with the Four of Swords. It's like, call a truce. You see that? How you're moving past the Three Swords that's behind you? Or that person could be playing like that stroke and strike, that mind game where it's like they could be acting like they want to work with you, but then they weaponize the very thing that you're supposed to be working past against you when they want to go move different with somebody else. That kind of thing. It was ego, very weak, weak in the spirit, weak in the mind, weak in the flesh. Very egotistical, no integrity, very vile. Okay. It's like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. With the Two of Wands, it could be, although we have this foundation, I'm not fulfilled here. I'm ready for more. And they got exactly what they asked for. And once they got exactly what they asked for, then 10 Pentacles went back down to a 2. And that's the karma, because all that energy they dished out that was nasty and dark and negative, it went back on them. So they're forced to go look within. They're forced to do that. Because now they're at a Two of Pentacles. They're scraping and scrambling for change, daddy. I would keep saying that shit because it's hilarious to me. Take away like the negative connotation of why he's in trouble or whatever, but just him acting like that, all poison shit. Like, I like how you scraping and scrambling for change. Like, this is like a balance. Like, I'm by myself. I'm trying to balance family and career. Now that I'm by myself, it's a lot harder to do that. That's what I got for you, Gemini. Okay, so let me give a closing argument and conclusion. I split the deck and said union. I mean, all this is a lesson in it. It's meant to teach you. You got a higher purpose. So you can't play small. If you try to stay in a situation, you're playing too small. Way too small. And this other person got to do their shadow work. So you need is the lesson is to face your north node, and someone is a perfect balance for you because the Lovers is on top of the Temperance. That's Gemini Sagittarius energy, and that Sagittarius could be that Virgo energy I'm talking about. All right. So your only design, the only thing is the best advice is to, drum roll please. I like the title In Accord With, because you're happily willing to see what else life has to offer. Like, you're open to it. Surrender. We talk about this whole reading. Surrender to the alchemist of life. Like, all those butterflies starts off as a caterpillar. It's a very difficult process, but once it becomes a butterfly, it will never go back to being a caterpillar again. But that transition is very difficult, and this was hard on you, Gemini. But once you get through it, you're a butterfly. Okay, that's what I have for you. Oh wait, the beauty. Someone sees you in the light of your spirit. And when I said soul stuff, they see the beauty. I see kindred spirits. When it's a lot more integral where you're going. And that star is there because this person has been through a lot and they're carrying it all by themselves. That Virgo energy. Could be a Sag too. But they help you reflect on what you need to do next. So that's what I have for you. I don't know how you're going to do this. That is your discernment. That is for you to pray and meditate about. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.